Hello, everybody. Good evening. Welcome to the mid-monthly Tribal Council meeting. We're happy to be here for the mid-month meeting. It's an exciting day in Winnebago today. As you know, today was the first day of the tribal member economic relief payment. And so it's really good to see a lot of the tribal members come through town today, and thankful to Rona and the whole finance team who were instrumental in organizing that, as well as thank you to the tribal council for putting the people first and making this payment happen on behalf of the membership. So I just want to give you guys a shout out for supporting that. So with that, we're going to start our meeting this evening, and I'd like to ask Louis to say our prayer.
Okay. Together today to do this for the tribe. That's for blessings on the tribe. Help us work through the top that are bothering us. Give us the strength, courage to make wise decisions. Care for our elders. Care for our military people. Care for those that are away from the reservation and want to return. Coca, we have powwow. May we remember our ancestors, those that have gone on before us. May we remember the whole meaning of the Winnebago powwow. We give thanks for the council members. Give them the strength and courage and fortitude to maintain their duties. Bless their families. As we ask in Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Thank you for that prayer. I neglected to say that we called to order at 5:04. So before Louis started his prayer, I wrote down the time. So thank you, Louis, for that prayer. And when I was thinking of all the people I was grateful during that prayer, Louis, I thought about enrollment. You know, they played a huge role in this as well. So thank you to enrollment for all the work that they've done to get the list ready and what they continue to do. So we have an agenda this evening, council, and I had on there an executive session, but I need to strike that item. And I would like to add the Winnebago County Highway Department Truck Logo Committee appointment and ask for council for any additions to the agenda. Brian?
Yes, I have a question for the WGDC board members from the council.
Okay, so that would be Louis. I don't see John on the meeting. Oh, so you want to add that to the agenda?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Any further additions to the agenda? Is there a motion to approve the agenda? We got a motion by Rona. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Eric. Discussion. Objection to the motion. Motion carried 6-0-0. I thank you. So our first item is the minutes. We have the July 7th, 2021 regular tribal council meeting minutes. Is there a motion to approve those minutes?
So moved.
We have a motion by Rona. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second by Eric. Discussion. Objection to the motion. Motion carried 6-0-0. Hey, Lorelai, remember you had some corrections to minutes. Will they be in this packet or was that a future packet?
No, it was a correction. Both of them I already corrected.
Okay,
So the version of the council has is with the correction.
okay, thanks. Okay, so we have our second set of minutes, July 12th, 2021 land meeting minutes. Is there a motion for that meeting minutes?
Make that
We have
motion.
We have a motion by Eric. We have a second.
Second.
Second by Rona. Discussion. Objection to the motion. Motion carried 600. Okay, the ratify 5 signatures. First one, approved transition plan of the quarantine RVs. That 5 signature failed, and we won't have to ratify that one. Number 2 was tabled from a previous meeting to adopt resolution 21-20 regarding the sacred children. Well, I think that continues to be discussed. So does anybody have any further information on that? Why? I know we were ratifying, it was just a funding application, and they said that there was still time to rework the site, and I believe that work is underway. So is there a motion to adopt this resolution 21-1, ratify resolution 21-120?
Where's the site gonna be?
Madam Chair, I think we gotta
Madam
wait till
Chair?
we get all the information. Sunshine was gonna get more information. And the committee or the team from the Human Services was looking at other sites. So I think we need to wait until they have all the information.
Okay, thank you, Lorelei. I did see some emails, so I just wasn't sure where we were at with that, and it looked like they had identified a new spot. So is there a motion to table this?
So moved.
Motion by Louis, second.
Second.
Second by Eric. Discussion.
The best site I see is that side of land just north of the buffalo pasture and south of the Mayberry line. About 10 acres. About 5 acres, and
Okay,
they haven't asked me how much to feed them off.
all right, well, we'll wait on that, Louis, and I guess I just want to thank Louis. I mean, he's been really firm in this, and that's what some of these decisions, that guidance of the elder. And I just think that sometimes some of the things that we want to do, it might seem like the best, yes, less expensive, right? But what Louis shared with us, I think from my perspective, we have to honor that. So Louis, we will make sure we have the full discussion on this further site until we ratify that. So does any other comments on that, Lorelei?
Madam Chair, we didn't vote. There was a motion by Louis and a second by Eric to table this again, and we didn't vote.
Oh, yeah, no, I was just making a comment.
Oh, okay.
Any further comments? Any objection to the motion? Motion carried 700. So I'm gonna show Coley in at 5:10, 11, Coley, is that about right? Okay, I counted you in that vote, Coley. All right, thank you, council. The next one is to adopt resolution 21-127. Is there a motion to ratify that?
Make motion.
Motion to ratify.
We have a motion by Eric. Do you want to second that, Thelma? Okay, second by Thelma. Discussion. Motion carried 700. We have no new business. We have no old business. Under tribal council items, we have a task force recommendation on quarantine housing units. And so in the packet are the minutes of the last pandemic. And from what I understand, the task force had also been in receipt of the plan that the council did not approve by last session. And the pandemic task force was looking for more information on where the revenue would go to when those structures were sold. And one of the things that emerged was the motion that all proceeds coming from the sales of housing units purchased from the CARES Act by the Winnebago tribe to be allocated into a fund towards new housing units and rehabilitation of rental housing units. No further discussion, all in favor, motion passed. So typically, from what I've seen, the task force seems to make recommendations to the council, and that has been their role. And so that's the input that was provided from the task force. Councilman Snowball's not able to join us this evening because I'm sure he'd have a lot to share on this topic. Is there any discussion or anybody want to have anything to say about this or no more information? So we can have this discussion when John's able to elaborate on that discussion in the meeting. So I'll just move on from there. I just want to make a note, and that's probably why that was on there. The second order of business is the mask discussion. Some of the council have been taking phone calls and concerns from tribal members in the community that are concerned with the rise in variant around the world and some of the spikes and reoccurring cases that we've had recently. So I think we've probably got a two-pronged discussion here. The first one that I came upon was with actually Winnebago's and concern amongst employees that we lifted the mask mandate for the patrons to stay competitive and to really want to be lifting it along everyone else and bring people out there to enjoy themselves. Well, we never really talked about the employees. And so some of the employees are starting to think that we don't know who's all vaccinated. And so if you're not vaccinated, then it should be mandatory that employees should still have to wear masks. And I just don't know that we were clear about that. And I had an email into the CEO the GM of the casino, and I didn't get a response. So I think others may have gotten similar phone calls about were we too quick to take that down. So I'd just like to open the floor up for maybe you've been getting the same calls and questions. Eric, I'm going to recognize Lorelei because she's the one that had a lot of email traffic on this, and then I'll come to you. So Lorelei.
Madam Chair, I asked our Winnebago Tribe of Nebraska Public Health expert Mona Savante if she could weigh in on this because she is our expert.
Okay, thank you for inviting her. Before Mona shares with us, Eric, did you want to make your comment?
I would say for the casino personnel that have not been vaccinated, have the first line supervisors go and see who is and who isn't vaccinated, and the workers that aren't vaccinated should be mandatory for them to wear their masks until they get vaccinated. And even then, when people do get vaccinated, we still recommend people to wear masks. And when we go out into town, we see a lot of the workers working in stores or restaurants. They're still wearing masks as an employee. So just something right there. Thank you.
Thanks, Eric. Good feedback. And I would agree. The businesses that I was kind of trying to notice and take notice, all the employees are wearing masks. It just seems like the patrons don't have to. So good observation. Mona, I'd like to invite you to make a comment, and thank you, Mona, for kind of always being on standby when we reach out to her via text or email. She's been really responsive. So thank you, Mona, for following up on this discussion.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me. So I think there's several kind of issues here. So one is that, we lifted the public mask mandate for the vaccinated, but of course we're seeing unvaccinated people not wearing their mask as well. And how do we stay competitive on the other side of the river as well? And so just looking at some of the the information, I guess, that is presented. And we've had quite a few breakthroughs of vaccinated people within this last month. That's kind of concerning. And even though we can kind of tie it back to like areas of travel and being around, not within our organization per se, but then they come back and then they're not they're not quarantined, because that's not the CDC practice for quarantining vaccinated people until they get a positive result. So then that could create a whole nother dynamic that we might be seeing soon, or not, I guess. So we just have to continue to watch the data. But I guess looking at some of the other areas around the country, they're starting to go back to that public mask mandate, regardless of whether they are vaccinated or not. And I know we want to continue to encourage people to be vaccinated. But, like I stated in my email, we have 400 people in town, it's not including 11 and under, that aren't vaccinated, which really plays into a factor, within our community, but also outside. And I know that, our people are very move around and go to different areas. And so I think maybe looking at the inside at the businesses again, to institute that mask mandate, because we're in a confined space, might be something that we want to look at implementing again. But I'm just looking at the stats and looking at the data, and that's what the data is suggesting at this time.
So Mona, I was reading your email, one of the ones that had gone to the board, and it was from a place of love, but talking about, we've done all these things and folks have worn their mask and people still got sick. And so trying to find that balance, is there and this puts you in a really tough place to be that person, but is there a recommendation, or is it just like trying to find the balance with all these factors?
Right. I think it's just trying to find the balance, I guess, of, at the hospital, of course, we still wear our masks regardless of whether we're vaccinated or not. And so we did lift it in the other public health department places, and we haven't seen an issue today with any of those, having the staff. But we know, and we've asked who is vaccinated and who is not. So I think it depends on whether our supervisors are feeling comfortable enough to approach their employees in order to do that kind of level. But like I said in my email too, it's about personal choice, and everybody has made that personal choice on whether they're going to get vaccinated or not. But a lot of our vaccinated people are suffering because our others are not vaccinated. So I guess just trying to find that balance. And so I think that, we're more susceptible to the virus when we're inside than in outside. That's why the recommendation would be for inside only.
There's no choice. Endangers my young children and grandchildren. It's because they have just no choice. And they go around infecting people. This new virus variant is a lot more dangerous than the first one. I'll be prone to take the hard side. If there's some way we can identify those that are unvaccinated, because they can't come to powwows, they can't come to public gatherings of the tribe. Somehow we gotta stop that chain.
Thank you, Louis, for that comment. So, from what you're saying, Mona, I mean, what I'm hearing is that perhaps the tribe should consider and that I just hate to, you know, it going back and forth is not for lack of information. It's trying to make the best decision with the information that we have at the time. And as we learn more information, you know, we'll make the decisions with that technical assistance and up-to-date information. So when we lifted the mask mandate, we didn't have the variant maybe in our community. We didn't have it in our area, but now we do. So I don't want the leadership to feel like, or maybe I'm just trying to tell myself this, that we're wishy-washy in any way. And I think it's really the numbers, which we have seen go up in our community. It's the presence of the variant, and it's trying to count on the most up-to-date data. So with that being said, it is the council considering reinforcing the mask, I don't know how you do say that, reinforcing the mask mandate for inside only, you know, I'm just trying to kind of create some discussion here on where the table wants to go with this. Given reinstate. And that would be for indoors only, all indoors, regardless if you're vaccinated or not. Is that kind of what I'm hearing? I'm not guessing, Mona. I'm just trying to like what do you like that you hear in council? Do you like that? Do you think that would be
Public places?
Public places? I just got a text from our CEO, and she'd like to offer a comment for some of the things that she's seen on the employee side. Thelma, did you have a comment?
I was just gonna say that I think it would be a good idea to probably have the mandate to be wearing masks while you're indoors.
Thank you, Thelma. So Esther, whenever you're able to call in, just please.
Can you guys hear me?
Yep, you're on. Yes, we can hear you.
Hi. Okay, good evening. Yeah, we have seen a recent uptake in our employees also coming down with the COVID virus. And some of these individuals, just like Mona had said earlier, that these individuals were vaccinated. And that was one of the messages that one of the family members had relayed to me when they had informed me about their loved one being hospitalized, was that they felt that the tribe had lifted the mask mandate too soon. And so I'm relaying that to the council right now because that was a message that was relayed to me. And not only have we seen an uptick, you know, in COVID recently, but we are also seeing a lot of other stuff starting to go around again. You know, that was one of the benefits of having that mask mandate in place, was that we all, you know, the country seeing nationwide a drop in like flu and other respiratory viruses. And since that's been lifted, you know, RSV has started to go around. That's a virus that's typically not seen in the summer months. It's usually in the winter months. So we're seeing that. So our croup is another one that I was told has been affecting some of the kids. And, you know, my biggest concern is with the children not being able to be vaccinated at this time. So, you know, no matter what, we're going to have a section of our population that is not able to be vaccinated. And, you know, we don't have any control over that. So personally, my feeling is that we need to, at minimum, reinstate the mask mandate in the tribal buildings. Thank you.
Thank you, Esther, for sharing that feedback. And I'm really sorry to hear that more of our tribal employees and their families are part of this. So you had mentioned tribal buildings only. I think if we're going to do it, it has, this is just my opinion, that it would apply to everyone, because even entities that aren't within the tribal, like tribal employees, they're still interfacing with our people at softball games and at the DG and everywhere else we all hang out together. I mean the Sweetwater, not the Bonanza. No, I'm just kidding. So I really want to support the council and tell you guys that that we're doing the best we can, and we might have some groans, but I think the most vulnerable people who we're trying to protect will be thankful. So with that, is there a motion to that effect, please?
So moved.
We have a motion by Louis to reinstate the mask mandate on the Winnebago, within the boundaries of the Winnebago Indian Reservation. So on inside, Mona, what's trying to wordsmith this for indoors, or what's the language?
Yeah, I'm just trying to write it down. For all indoor on the Winnebago Reservation,
Yeah,
so that would include the DG.
yeah. Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Second.
Was that Eric?
That was Thelma.
Okay. Maybe seconded by discussion. So in discussion, council, does that capture, Louis, does that capture what you want to say, reinstate all masks for all indoor buildings on the Winnebago Indian Reservation? Okay. Discussion. Objection to the motion.
Object.
All those in favor of the motion, please raise your hand or say aye. Thelma, Louis, Lorelei, Eric, Rona. Wait. No.
No.
No. Abstentions. We've got 8 or 7 0, excuse me, 6 1 0. Motion passed. So we will get that out and through our communication channels, and to Lorelei, will you work with Teresa to get some notices out to our entities?
Yes, I have the list of all the travel entities. I'll send it out tomorrow morning.
Okay, thank you. All right, that brings us to our next item, which is the Winnebago County Highway Department Truck Logo Committee. Information for the membership. I just want to update you that the Winnebago County Board of Supervisors had a meeting, and they unanimously passed to remove the caricature type logo from their trucks, and they're going to have a committee, and from that committee they'll work towards a new logo that's respectful of the culture of the Ho-Chunk people and encompasses, the identity of their community. And so there was some good discussion from our council. Louis and Lorelei made good comments and their recommendations. Everyone was on the similar page, thinking that something positive should come out of this, and we should have representation from our community on their committee to further guide them. They're also in contact with the Ho-Chunk Nation to also have representation from their community on this committee. I had thought of Sunshine as our TIPO, and I had thought of Lewis as our Renaissance director, as directors and principals within their area. But I wanted to make sure that the council motioned and that it was an official appointment, and that, and perhaps it's not them, maybe I'm overlooking someone that has expertise. So I just wanted to open it up to the floor and hear from Council. Lorelei.
Madam Chair, I would like to make a motion to appoint Louis St. Cyr and Sunshine Bear to the Winnebago County Committee for their new logo from the Winnebago tribe of Nebraska.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second,
We have a second by Louis. Discussion. Objection to the motion. Motion carried. Did Brian, okay, his camera just off. Objection to the motion? No. Motion carried, 7-0-0.
What happened?
What was that motion again?
Was that Eric?
What was that motion?
The motion was to appoint Sunshine Bear, the Winnebago Tribal Historic Preservation Officer, and Louis St. Cyr, Renaissance Program Director, to the Winnebago County Highway Department Truck Logo Committee.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, motion carried 7-0-0. Our next item of business is the Winnebago Gaming Development Board of Directors question. Brian.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. My question is to the two tribal delegates. What was the nature of the discourse at your July 14th meeting?
Louis, I would invite you to comment. Louis and Councilman LaRose and Councilman Snowball are the tribal council delegates to the Winnebago Gaming Development Commission Board of Directors. And from what I understand, they had a special meeting last week. And that brings us to this point. So Louis, I just invite you to comment if you have anything you'd like to share about that.
we had a meeting regarding the termination by management of the employee. And it turned into a kind of like a little power struggle. And they weren't, we had a difference of opinion on whether that those gaming operations are a business or whether they should be run like a government. So we were looking at two different sets of rules. One set of rules that was adopted and been used, and Thomas brought the tribal rules. And we agreed that it was a gaming rules that we would follow. The end result was that a request by the individual for reinstatement wasn't allowed. But the way it was handled, the way it was presented and handled, I thought we just go to a meeting. I didn't know I was going to get into a verbal fight. And I was being careful because Thomas Snow is my nephew. I tried to give him his own space. But it wasn't a fun meeting.
Well, I was just now checking to see who joined the meeting, but I don't see John on. So is that issue resolved, or will there be further action? Oh, hold on, Eric. Has that issue been resolved, or will there be further action? I don't know if you can hear me. Can you hear me, Louis?
You're cutting out.
Oh,
I can hear you, but I can't understand you.
oh, sorry, Louis. I was saying, has that issue been resolved, or will there be further action from the board?
I think it's resolved with the majority of board members, but this First time I see the board in such discord. And we'll have to work that out. We're minus one board member. The next time we meet, we'll have a full quorum.
Okay. Well, thanks, Louis, for sharing that. Yeah, I wish John's on leave today, but if John was here, he'd be able to speak. Well, he wasn't gonna be. I'm sure he's been briefed on the topic, and if council has more follow-up questions, I would encourage you to talk to Louis and John because they are the board members. So, Eric, did you have a question?
I would, I don't know about a question, but I think that's what that board was put in place for. I think we should leave the authority to the board to fix this problem. Thank you.
Thanks, Eric. Yeah, typically, whenever those issues, we lean towards the board, and a lot of times the council will just kind of send it back to the board and let them work on it as they were delegated to do. So, Brian, do you think that you'll want to hear from John on this topic? Or do you want to preserve this for another time, or would you like to this satisfy?
Yeah, I think that John should be given the opportunity to answer the same question.
Okay. So will you be looking for any action or motion to table for further discussion?
I guess not at this point.
Okay.
For a point of clarity, based on the information that was given here with, I guess, the statement made from Louis. So am I correct in understanding that the board attempted to manipulate an employment issue?
The board really didn't want to deal with an employment issue. The decision was already made.
Okay. Well, thank you, Louis, for your willingness to kind of talk about this. And one of the things that I think we don't get to do enough is to talk about the good things that each of you are doing on the boards that you're on. And it had been asked before, for the council to do different reports and such like that. And I know Lorelei keeps a daily log and she shares that with Teresa. But I think maybe perhaps at mid-month, if the council wanted to carve out time to talk about their board work, I would think that people would love that. So, because then we'd have space to come report, every week. Like Pulley and I had a hospital board meeting last week. We should be like reporting everything that we can there to the council and to the people that are. So this kind of brings up an opportunity and where council can, I guess, work towards being really forthcoming with what we learn in a timely manner. So I know that's not what this was about, but I'm just now thinking that, we wouldn't have to put them on the agenda if they were just there, We could have standing reports if council wanted to do that. I'm kind of getting off topic here, but where would you like to go from here? At the next regular agenda, or I'd like to give John his time.
Well, are you asking me that?
Can you, Brian?
From my perspective, like I said, I think that John should be afforded the opportunity to answer these same questions. And at the same time, because he's obviously going to provide his point of view on whatever it was that he witnessed or took part in, then I'm open to either doing that in a meeting or if he wants to reply via email, either way.
Okay. No problem. So we will work with John on make sure that he's able to express himself. So is there any other anything else on this item? Coley.
I just want to comment that in the statement it talks about Balmer making the motion himself, and as we're aware, Tori, we know Chairman Rickster makes motions in our 12 Clans Unity Hospital board meeting himself. So it talks about being out of order with Robert's rules of order and stuff. So that's, I guess, I mean, find out clarity to that, you know, if the chairman can make motions, you know, because, you know, Chairman Rickster of the board of directors for the 12 Clans Unity Hospital has made many motions himself. That's all. I just wanted a statement there about that.
Chloe, and we can definitely, one of the things that, oh, good Lord.
Coley, does he second his own motions?
No, not yet.
Gordon Kittle and Santee used to second his own motions.
So I hope we won't have to second our own motions, but so I guess the only comment I want to say is that I share with the council and, you know, with all the people that we trust and put on these boards to kind of act in as our delegate. And I think that, you know, all our boards have to act in good faith, and that when things like this occur, I just feel bad that sometimes the organization might feel at the mercy of their board. And we have to make sure that we're putting people on there that have the best interest of the organization at hand. And so I know that many of our boards, they don't have, well, I think each of these boards have their own bylaws, and the structure of those boards and the seats that those folks fill, maybe they're the tribal member seat, maybe they're the subject matter expert seat, you know. So not all these boards are a little bit different, but I guess the comment that I'm trying to make is that we need everyone to operate with integrity, because they are an extension of each of us by us putting them on that board. So Eric.
Yes, I think we should leave the authority to the board to fix this problem. And next time something like this comes to the council, it should be brought to either the board or the CEO directly through those channels. So that's it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Eric. So with that are all the items on our agenda. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
We have a motion by Eric. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Brian. Discussion. Objection to the motion. Motion carried. 7-0. We are adjourned at 5:47. Thank you, council. Thank you, T.
Brian,
Oh, yeah. Hi, Louis.
I'd like to hear just an update on how the power is coming along.
Oh, well. Well, we are adjourned, but Eric, you want to give us a little update?
Well, it's a friendly little discussion.
Oh, yeah. We're all friends. Power Chairman, do you want to update us?
Yes, everything is set. Everything's taken care of. We're just we're having a meeting tonight in about 30 minutes. I have to be to. It's just tying up where we want the 5 police officers that will be detailed to the powwow committee for additional security. Just banding, where we're going to be banding, what times we're going to be banding. We're thinking about starting to try to band locals enrolled membership that have been vaccinated starting tomorrow. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all that's left. Otherwise, powwow is ready to go. Tomorrow, everybody will be able to start setting up their tents on air. And we're trying to ease into it with the banding and the vaccination with the vaccination cards as far out as possible, so we don't have a rush on Friday. And so tomorrow we're going to start letting people put their stake out their tent sites, and then at the same time get vaccinated. So we're going to have people out on the grounds in the afternoon to start the banding process with the vaccinations. So that's about it. Otherwise, Friday, grand entry, we'll be doing a flag raising. You know, everything will be going on according to plan. The Veterans Feed will be taking place Thursday evening. That's about 6. Thelma?
Yeah, I went to a powwow recently, and at that powwow they were doing vaccinations. Even the children that's under 12. I think it was, yeah, under 12. 12, I guess, on it. So great opportunity if they were allowed in.
Madam Chair, remember a while back, like a month ago, you were gonna be working on a prayer service before the powwow starts? Where are you with that?
So I reached out and connected Father Mark with Sunshine and Cassie. And then, oh, I know, at first I had Cassie and Eric and Father, and I had forgot about Sunshine. And so then I added another email with her on it. And it sounds like Sunshine had a meeting was having a meeting. And Eric, did she say something about a moment of silence? Did you see her email?
No, I didn't.
Okay, Sunshine replied, and she was saying that that she thinks that there's more that we should do, but to start, that maybe we could do that. Eric, I guess, kind of pitched that ball to you as the powwow chairman. I don't know if you want to take that back or if there's opportunity to do that.
Yes, that would be open to discussion
Okay.
of,
So
of
Laura-
when we do it during powwow or before powwow, however that would, whatever direction would be favored, I guess.
So Eric, if you just want to check that email, what Sunshine had requested. So that's as far as we got, Lorelai. I was kind of turning it over to Lorelai and have her to, excuse me, I don't know why I keep saying Lorelai. Turn that over to Sunshine to have her work directly with Eric on what she had in mind.
Okay, I'll be looking for that email then.
All right, thanks. Any other discussion? Okay, well, thanks, Eric, for your leadership out there and for everything that you're doing to help the veterans and the people have the best celebration.